They were 27 teenagers, bright-eyed, buzzing with adrenaline, standing on the precipice of adulthood, eager for one final wild hurrah before diplomas, dorm rooms, and destinies pulled them apart. Their laughter echoed through hallways, their dreams pinned to bulletin boards, their futures mapped in yearbook signatures. But on June 5th, 1999, they boarded a yellow school bus headed for Oregon's Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest and vanished without a trace. No distress calls, no wreckage, no bodies, just silence. For over 2 decades, their fate became the stuff of whispered campfire tales, a ghost story parents used to scare kids off hiking alone, until June 3rd, 2021. That's when a lone hiker, veering off trail, stumbled upon a rusted school bus half swallowed by moss and ivy. Inside, moldy backpacks, faded Polaroids, a warped cassette player, and beneath a pile of mildewed clothing, a human jawbone. The discovery didn't just reopen a cold case, it shattered every theory, because this wasn't an accident, this was deliberate, this was hidden. And what the forest had kept secret for 22 years wasn't just tragedy, it was terror. May 1999, Forest Grove High School, Oregon. The air crackled with pre-graduation electricity. Lockers slammed, sneakers squeaked on linoleum. Green Day's Good Riddance, Time of Your Life blasted from car stereos in the parking lot. Teachers smiled wearily, counting down minutes until summer break. For the class of '99, freedom was a heartbeat away. Among the 26 students planning the trip, plus one chaperone, stood Lacey Monroe. Valedictorian, student council president, mayor's daughter, polished, poised, perfect. Behind her smile, panic attacks in bathroom stalls, caffeine-fueled all-nighters, the crushing weight of expectation. Her father, Mayor Thomas Monroe, name-dropped her achievements like campaign slogans. Then there was Jared Fields, camera always in hand, narrating his own mockumentary of senior year. Gonna be my Blair Witch Project, but funnier. His lens captured everything: hallway chaos, cafeteria food fights, secret crushes scribbled in notebooks. He planned to film the entire trip, a time capsule of us before we become boring adults. Tyrese Hall, 6'4", built like a linebacker, already holding a full ride to Oregon State. Everyone expected greatness: coaches, teachers, his single mom who worked double shifts just to keep his cleats laced. But Tyrese, he feared the peak was behind him, that college would expose him as a fraud. And Emily Tran, quiet, watchful, sketchbook always open. Her pencil captured classmates unaware. Lacey biting her lip mid-debate, Jared mid-laugh, Tyrese staring out a rain-streaked window. Her drawings weren't just portraits. They were forest scenes, gnarled trees, hooded figures, symbols she claimed came to her in dreams. No one understood Emily, but everyone trusted her. The trip was their brainchild, a 3-day camping adventure deep in Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest. No parents, no curfews, just freedom. Permission slip signed, snacks packed, sleeping bags rolled. They'd leave Saturday morning, June 5th, in bus number 57, driven by substitute driver Harold Griggs, filling in for the regular driver who'd called in sick. The departure was pure joy. Parents waved from driveways, camcorders rolled. Someone blasted closing time as the bus pulled away. That grainy footage, kids leaning out windows, Griggs giving a thumbs up, became the last known image of them alive. That evening, at 6:41 p.m., Mrs. Elsie McClure's home phone rang. It was her daughter, Rachel, voice faint, laughter in the background, someone yelling, "Turn that off." Then, silence, static, no goodbye, just nothing. When the bus didn't check in at the campground by midnight, rangers assumed delay, fog, rough roads. But by Sunday morning, no calls returned, no texts sent. Search teams mobilized. Helicopters scoured treetops. Bloodhounds hit dead ends. No tire tracks, no broken branches, no cell signals. The campground host swore. No yellow bus ever arrived. 10 days later, a fisherman found a waterlogged disposable camera near a river bend, 15 miles off route. The film? Gone. Removed. Then the Callahans received a letter. Shaky handwriting, 5 words. "We made it. Please stop looking." Handwriting experts called it a forgery. Too perfect. Too practiced. Rumors exploded. Runaways? Cult initiation? Government experiment? Theories spiraled, but facts stayed frozen. 27 souls, 1 bus, 0 evidence. After 2 months, the case went cold, officially unsolved missing persons. But parents refused to let go. Robert Vasquez, father of quiet guitarist Mateo, kept a journal, scribbled theories, strange tips, sleepless nights. One entry chilled investigators. "I don't think they drove off a cliff. I think something took them, something that didn't want them found." He never elaborated. No one disproved him. 22 years passed. New students filled Forest Grove's halls. New laughter echoed. But near the main entrance, a bronze plaque bore 27 names. Gone but never forgotten. Every June, 27 candles flickered in the gym. Some teachers retired early, haunted. Others stayed, staring at yearbook photos of faces forever 18. Bedrooms became shrines. Unmade beds, half-finished homework, soccer trophies gathering dust. Mrs. Santos watered the garden her daughter Nina planted days before vanishing. Mr. Delaney reread his son's valedictorian essay, "The future is a blank page," every morning. But no one clung harder than Irene Monroe, Lacey's mother. She refused death certificates, kept Lacey's toothbrush in the holder, voicemail greeting unchanged, bed made daily. "She's not gone," Irene insisted. "I feel her. She's out there." Neighbors called it denial. Therapists called it complicated grief. Irene called it faith. Then, June 3, 2021, Travis Milner, off-duty firefighter, hikes deep into Siskiyou's unmarked trails, seeks solitude, finds horror. A flash of yellow beneath ferns. He clears vines, reveals bus number 57, rust-eaten, windows shattered, tires sunk into earth, door jammed. He forces it open. Stale, rotting air hits him. Inside, a time capsule of decay. Mold-caked backpacks, Letterman jackets, graduation caps green with mildew. And in the back, bones. Not one skeleton, multiple, partially decayed, fully skeletonized. 17 sets confirmed. He calls 911. Within hours, the site swarms with forensics. Media helicopters circle. Grieving families collapse. Hope and dread collide. Investigators catalog debris, most items destroyed. But under the driver's seat, a waterlogged manila folder. Inside, charcoal sketches. Signed Emily T. Emily Tron's work. Her body? Not among the 17. The drawings are chilling. Hooded figures in a ring. Faceless masks. Blood dripping from trees into ritual circles. Symbols unknown, untranslatable. The final sketch? The school bus surrounded by tall silhouettes. Behind the wheel, a masked figure. Dental records ID 17 victims. 9 students missing. Both teachers, Mr. Carl Muse, AP History, and Ms. Janine Crawford, unaccounted for. The bus? No road could have delivered it here. No tire marks, no crash damage. It was placed, hidden. Why 17? Why leave the rest? Why Emily's occult sketches? The case reopens not as accident, as crime scene. Daniel tapped his foot 3 times, then stopped. "Not at first," he said. Emily fetched linens, and a shoebox of old flyers spilled. Daniel picked one up, a tip from Boise, 2014. "We were there," he whispered. "I remember the diner's red star sign. He said they burned the fries." Karen leaned in. "If he remembers locations, those sightings weren't random. They were real." Later, Emily noticed Daniel's clothes folded with eerie precision, not like the boy she raised. "He said order keeps you invisible," Daniel explained. Then, in the bathroom, condensation on the mirror revealed 3 words: "Ask about the basement." The handwriting wasn't Daniel's, too deliberate, chilling her. Karen returned with a frayed folder, photos of the taped-off playground, Richard Evans in flannel behind police lines. Emily whispered about the mirror's message. Daniel tensed. "He said the basement had black mold. I heard noises sometimes." "We'll get a warrant," Karen said. Daniel walked alone that evening, pausing at Richard's old house, now repainted, its basement windows bricked over. "That's where he kept the shoebox, with photos," he murmured. 2 days later, Karen's team entered the basement with ground-penetrating radar. Behind a false wall, a rusted trunk held envelopes labeled by city and year: Boise, Spokane, Helena. Each contained a Polaroid of Daniel, unsmiling, the whistle ever present, proof Richard had cataloged his theft of time. "He made me stand still, said it was for my record," he said, trembling. Karen's anger broke through. He stalked him, kept trophies. Then Daniel spotted an envelope labeled Portland. Inside, a Polaroid of Emily at her mailbox, unaware, her hair caught in the wind. On the back, in Richard's handwriting, "She will forget." "He wasn't just keeping me," Daniel said. "He was waiting for you." The photo of Emily rewrote the case. Karen spread the Polaroids across the table, Daniel's stolen years staring back. The image of Emily, marked as next, stole the air. Daniel's voice was flat. He said everyone disappears, that I should be grateful mine was quick. "Did he mention your father?" Karen asked. Daniel's face tightened. He said Dad owed him, that he was doing him a favor. When I asked, he called it grown-up business. Emily's hands shook. "Michael," she whispered. She called him and Eugene. His voice carried old guilt. "I thought we buried this," he said. "No," Emily replied. "You did." Michael arrived 2 days later, aged and heavy. Seeing Daniel, he gasped, "You're alive!" Daniel's gaze was unreadable. "Did you give me away?" The room stilled. Michael's shoulders sagged. "I didn't know he'd keep you," he said. "I owed him money, stupid debts. He said he'd take you briefly, make it look like a scare, just until I paid. I thought it would be days." Emily's voice broke. "You let him vanish our son?" "I was desperate," he said. "Then he didn't bring you back. I thought there was nothing left to save." Daniel's words cut sharper. "You chose your debt over me." Karen closed her notebook. "This isn't just kidnapping, it's conspiracy. One parent knew, one neighbor executed, and a boy paid the price." Daniel stood in the doorway, his eyes wet but sharp. "You were the reason I never came home," he told Michael. Emily's voice cracked. "You handed him over." Michael sobbed, incapable of meeting their gazes. "I thought I'd fix it." Daniel gripped the whistle. "This was all I had to remind me I belonged." To Michael, he whispered, "You traded me." Karen stepped in. "Richard will never touch another child. Michael, the courts will name your crime." To Emily, Daniel said, "Don't let me lose what's left." She touched his hand, a fragile connection across 12 years. Weeks later, the house became a sanctuary. Daniel walked the neighborhood, relearning its cracks and hedges. Neighbors stared, reporters hovered. But inside, truth lightened the air. One evening, Emily found Daniel on the porch, the whistle in his fingers, sunset burning the sky. "Do you wish it hadn't happened?" she asked. "Every day," he said. "But it showed me how strong I am and how much you loved me, never stopping."